Welcome back to my podcast, Almost Angels. I am the host, Amber. If you're interested in the impetus for this podcast, check out my first video, which is linked below. I wanted to talk about the subject today of self-sabotage. That's what's coming up for me after posting my first podcast, which was a long-term goal of mine that I've been working on for a while, just building the idea of the channel and not really knowing where I would start and feeling really good about it. I just felt really good to just get that done. And I rode the accomplishment for a good 10 to 12 hours before I started to feel the wave that I was riding taking a sharp decline down. I was starting to think a lot of negative thoughts that weren't coming from anything that was actually said or done. They were definitely kind of coming up from within. There was no evidence. But they took me to a pretty low low that I haven't been in a while, and even felt a little sick physically. And I was able to sit with the feelings and wonder, like, what am I doing? Why am I having these thoughts? I did some guided meditation to try to unearth, the layers that were going on. And it was very helpful. I felt like I was able to notice that in particular, I had honed in on a person in my life that, not related to the podcast, I didn't even know about it, but just their behavior all of a sudden started to become a big deal to me. They weren't doing anything new, but I was allowing myself to fall into just feeling very victimized by them doing the things they've always done and being the person that they've been since I've known them. And it was curious to me that after this feeling of accomplishment and just feeling really proud of myself, that I started to focus on things that actually started to make me feel very powerless instead of powerful. And through the meditation, the guided meditation, I really focused on this person and why I was allowing their behavior to bring me down. And it really brought me to this place of being able to think about their behavior in the context of what I believe really old behavior comes from that might seem maladaptive to us. We in our culture can label people as being toxic or label children as misbehaving, or people that they're dramatic or manipulative. I think we have all of these words that are kind of cloaked in shame and judgment. And underneath it, I believe that it's a person that's really craving connection and doesn't know how to get it. And I think as children, when we want connection and we don't get what we want, we can start to do things that make us feel in control, at least. I think many people would feel hard-pressed to believe that when Johnny put gum on Susie's chair or in her hair, that what he was looking for was connection. But it's a way to be seen, and it might not result in great outcomes, right? There might be consequences to the behavior, but for some people, as long as it allows them to feel seen, it can squelch the pain of feeling invisible. It can give them a momentary sense of having power over the situation, which when someone feels disconnected, invisible, and powerless, doing things that make you feel like you have power, irrespective of the consequences that might come, it really can be helpful to soothe the pain that's in there. So, it just really helped me to step back and look at this person's behavior in a way that helped me to have compassion for them. It reminds me a bit of like iron deficient anemia. Sometimes when people present with that, they can have a condition that's called pica, which is eating foods that aren't foods. So animals as well, humans and animals can chew on ice, eat dirt, laundry soap. There's a number of items that they may feel compelled to eat to meet this nutritional need, but it's maladaptive. It can actually hurt them, and it's not going to significantly increase any iron stores. But they're drawn to what their body's calling them to do, and sometimes that can be how we are emotionally. We can have a need, and we're drawn to something because we're not sure what our need even is. But for whatever reason, this might give us a little boost towards what we're feeling. And we're not really thinking about how it might make us or others sick on the other end. It just really helped me to step back and look at this person's behavior in a way that helped me to have compassion for them. And I could really see how this person might be feeling disconnected at this point in their life from people and might be trying to get some sort of attention or affection. And I can see also how they weren't necessarily given the tools. I think we can all always have the ability to grow and change, right? And recognize like that we can get tools. But if this person isn't or hasn't, like, it's okay. It does not mean that I need to meet their need. It does not mean that whatever the maladaptive behavior may be, if it's hurting me or my life, it doesn't mean that I need to step into it. But it allows me to, if need be, step back without having the story that I caused it, that I need to fix it, that it's my fault, or that there's some expectation on me that I can't meet. There's a whole lot of things that can come up for me in those situations, but the caveat to not needing to meet the need, I believe, is with our kids, right? Like when I notice that my kids are having behaviors that to me seem maladaptive, like they're looking for attention or connection, that is an exception where I think that it's my role to lean into that and to get curious and know that that's probably what's underlying this behavior, and to just ask them questions about their actions and, what do they believe the result would be and what are they looking for? Like my son breaking his brother's toy because his brother broke his isn't probably going to get his toy back. It's going to hurt the relationship. What he really wanted was maybe an apology and his brother to think of some way to repair it, right? And so giving them the language to navigate things like that when their feelings are big, when they're young, I think that's absolutely our role, right? And what the ways that we need to parent ourselves now, right? Like, okay, my feelings are big, I'm being dramatic, I want to break something, like, but what is really going on, right? What is it that I'm not allowing myself to feel? And wow, can I put language around it and be vulnerable and just ask? I think allowing people to have the space to have maladaptive behaviors, to be seen, and to try to get connection, and to recognize that it isn't your job to fix or label or judge, can be really powerful. It really helped me. It really helped me to step out of the story. It also helped me then turn the lens around and recognize that I'm also doing the best that I can, and that I'm also probably afraid of losing connections through putting myself out here in this way, and have compassion on myself, which I think at the end of the day is what I was avoiding. And so I hope that this gives you some things to chew on or to think about. I'd love to hear any comments, questions, or thoughts, or disagreements even that you may have in the comments. I love the opportunity to connect with you all and converse and get to know you all better. So please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe so that you can catch my next podcast. My goal is to post bi-weekly on Mondays and Thursday evenings. So stay tuned. And thanks again for tuning in.